Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Ace. How you doing?
Yeah, I have. I'm good. How are you?
I'm
How's
good. I'm
everybody
happy
doing?
weekend. Yeah, how's everyone doing? Feel free to type in the chat. Um, if you are here for the first time, watching this for the first time, thanks, Ace. If you're here for the first time, we're watching for the first time. This is a weekly stream that we do. The company is called TBD, and basically we're working on a new awesome technology called Web5, which is doing a lot of things to help you own your data and your identity.
Mhm.
And in the stream, me and Ace, we talk with like community members or even as like experts in the industry about like what they're also doing
Mhm.
for decentralized identity and self-sovereign identity. And today we got two community members, Moises and Amir. I'm gonna bring them on stage. That I'm super
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
excited. Hello. All right, cool. um Really quickly, one of the reasons I reached out to y'all is I was like, cool, y'all are like building little interesting things, and I want to learn about like what attracted you to Web5 and to these projects and like what you're hoping to see with it in the future.
Mhm.
So excited to have you on. But before we talk about Web5, I'm gonna just ask a little warm-up question.
All
Because
right.
people are nervous. Moises said he's not nervous, but sometimes people are nervous. So
Yeah.
I asked
Sounds
this
good.
last time, but a little bit I asked it. But like, do you all believe in making New Year's resolutions? Because every time I make some, people are like, "Oh, brother, New Year's Eve is not real." So just curious. It seems like a controversial topic sometimes.
Wow. Wow. I guess I'll start. It's an interesting question. I might sound a bit philosophical, but I think every day is almost like a chance to better yourself. So yeah,
Mhm.
of course, you want goals and you want to work and accomplish them, but you don't have to wait till the next year to actually work on them. So you can start like now.
Wow.
So yeah, that's my belief. I mean, it's never too late to start actually now. And you know what? And if you fail, that's okay. We're all human. To still have one more day to try it. Hopefully we'll wake up and we have the chance to better ourselves. So that's my philosophy.
I love that. What about you, Amir? What you think? You make New Year's goals, or you're like, nah, it's okay if it's no too.
Yeah, of course. It's it's enjoyable for me, for everything I have a plan. So especially, it's near to a fresh year. I would like to spend, a day to write my goals, recap what I
Mhm.
did in the past year. So determine new goals. And for this new year, hopefully, here is my plan. I would like to say I'm gonna just spend my entire time on decentralized application. I would like
Oh my
to
gosh.
build, yeah, a few devs, and almost I have 10 ideas about
Mm.
decentralized application for this new year, and I hope I can build all of them.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, go ahead. Your turn, Ace. What you think? Do you believe in those or not?
I guess it kind of works both ways. I'm a huge fan of anime, and there's a guy in Naruto called Rock Lee that says, "I just want to be better than I was a second ago, like a day ago, yes, like an hour ago." So it's a continuous journey. But at the same time, having like group times like this help us reset, give us time to take a break, and you just say, okay, for this next couple of months, for this next couple of weeks, this is what I want to achieve, right? So it's just kind of like in the middle. And yeah, that's how I just look at it. But every single day, like Moises said, is when you can start. So I love that.
Yeah,
I love
Very
that.
cool. Thank you.
I feel like we're like on
Great.
a similar ground. Like we're like, New Year's is a good time to make new goals, but doesn't have to be that day.
Mm-hmm.
And this comment is so interesting. I don't want to say crazy. They said this year I feel shoplifting. Okay, shout out to everyone that's here. Right?
That was
And
hilarious.
yeah, that is. And then there was a comment about like just someone said it might be a little hard to hear Amir right now. You might not have like the mic set up, so maybe just like speak a little louder. But I was able to hear you.
Yeah, I can
Okay,
hear you too.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now that we did like the little icebreaker, go ahead,
Awesome.
go ahead and introduce yourselves. We can start with Moises. I don't know if I said the intonation right. I just remember what you told me. But
That's okay.
Amir.
All right. So at the start, I'm Moises. Was born and raised in Mexico, and I don't like to say the word old. I like to say more like I'm experienced. I've had 29 years of experience developing software, and for the past 5 years, 5.5 years, that's when I jumped the blockchain world first, and then 4 years doing self-sovereign identity applications.
Wow, that's a lot of
Wow,
experience.
you are very experienced.
Oh, not old.
Not old. You're
Gotcha.
not old. You don't look old or nothing. I'm like that many years. I didn't think that. So not
Yeah,
old at
yeah. I was programming by the age of 3, so that's why.
Oh wow,
I'm joking.
all.
fantastic.
You got us. Amir
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Okay, sounds great. I'm Amir. I was born in Iran. Currently, I live in Turkey. I have 13 years of experience in software development industry. I have been working as a freelancer, and yeah, I got my master degree in computer science, and yeah, that's all. And
Awesome.
recently, yeah, I was working on Web3 projects that I faced with Web5, and I'm so excited about that. And this is my goal. I'm gonna spend, my time on learning more about the DID, DWN, and some stuff related to Web5. I'm so happy about that.
That is crazy. If I can just follow up on that, how did you, come across like decentralized web, the Web5 project, the community itself? How was that transition for you?
Do you want me to go, Wale?
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
cool.
yeah. I mentioned 4 years ago I got into the self-sovereign identity space, and I used to work for a company called Numedic. We actually deployed our COVID passport to production, and we had maybe a 3,000 people user base. But of course, COVID passports had a political connotation, so that didn't really last long. But around that time, that's when I started following up the Decentralized Identity Foundation and saw this specification for decentralized web nodes. So for a while, it was a specification. It was really hard to get a grasp of it without a concrete implementation. And we are so lucky that Block or the old Square somehow they decided to fund it, and of course the reason is so they could use it for their TBD exchange, right? And but at this point, yeah, let's a serious company with money and resources are investing into this technology, so let's just
Mhm.
follow it. So yeah, I mean, from the get go, from the initial repository commits, just trying to understand the code and trying to actually leverage it. And just really quick, I think it was last June, there was a hackathon from DIF again,
Mhm.
and it was called a DID hack. And that's when, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to test decentralized web nodes. So we actually won it. We implemented a DeFi application where we extracted financial data from Plaid, that financial platform for transactions,
Mhm.
and just dumped it into a decentralized web node. And then we also mine it. I ran a data ingestion process in from ML in Python, and I was able to consume data from decentralized web nodes. So that was very cool. At that point, I realized that DWNs are definitely or close to being ready for a production level system. So here we are trying to make ourselves relevant in that space.
That sounds exciting. How about you, Amir?
Yeah, it was amazing when I read more about DID, or let's say decentralized identity. Unfortunately, I hadn't enough time because of the time limitation for the hackathon. So I had just 2 weeks to study and read more.
Wow.
And yeah, I was so excited. I got so many ideas. Actually, we can turn the old platforms on Web 2, Web 3 to the Web 5. So there are plenty of ideas. And yeah, I was so excited. I decided to develop 2 projects,
Mm.
Web 5 based projects. Yeah, and for the third one, I couldn't, spend much more time, but I'm willing to demonstrate my 2 projects about.
Wow.
I used DID and DWA for both of them,
Hmm.
and especially VC.
That is nice. I guess a lot of people don't often forget like Web5 itself is split into like these three major pillars, and it's not just DWNs, it's not just DIDs, it's also like verifiable credentials, and all of this is what as a community we also want to continue to like present a platform for people to feel very inspired and feel supported to explore this emerging technology and continue to build amazing stuff with it. So it's very nice to hear how you guys foray into this. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And that's also why I like reached out to both of them because I was like, cool. Amir to use the project that's using verifiable credentials, and Moises has a project that's using identity agents. So I was like, let's see what else they're trying out and putting
Mm-hmm.
beyond DIDs and DWNs. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, I feel like it's a good time to transition into just explaining what your projects are, and then after that, we can do a demo.
Cool.
Who wants to start first?
May I?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So
Oh no.
what we are creating? Oh, we're losing Amir. Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
okay, cool.
So I partner up with a talented user designer slash product manager, and what we noticed there was a gap. Well, initially TBD was developing a web-based application and a web-based wallet. That's what I meant to say. But that effort was abandoned, and or maybe paused should be the right word. And TBD is focusing on the React Native wallet. So for me, that was a perfect opportunity. Well, there's this gap. Why don't I continue that work of developing a wallet that manages everybody's decentralized web nodes, right? I think at the end, any application that leverages DWNs, they're going to have to use that infrastructure of provisioning DWNs, provisioning, or maybe the rotation of keys, managing permissions, and so forth. So why not uh, close that gap and then offer a wallet that allows you to not manage one decentralized web node, but multiple. Uh, and so that you can have decentralized web node for your social networks, another one for your financial applications, another one for your medical history, and so forth, right? So it's really, there's no limit, and that's the beauty of SSI, that you can have as many dates as you would like, and then you can manage as many decentralized nodes with those dates. So yeah, so let's just use this wallet, we thought, and why don't we also turn it into some sort of platform that now we're providing basic infrastructure for managing DWNs. Why not also allow them to ride or run their applications on top of this platform? I think I'm going a little bit too ahead of myself because that functionality is not over, but that really is the vision. That really is the vision. So at this point, I can show you really quick what this looks like. Um, in this case, notice that I have several profiles, one for health information, finance, and shopping. But again, you can add as many. You can add for your dating life or for your, anything that requires you to share kind of information. And I guess the information that could be shared, and this is optional, is the fact that we also have identity verification baked into it from scratch. It's not required, but for some use cases, certainly it is, right? When you're trading fiat to crypto, or when you're accessing your patient information, you definitely need to actually verify yourself that you are who you're claiming to be. So I baked into this platform the workflow to obtain an identity verifiable credential. And in this case, I just used Plaid. And really quick, I don't want to submit you through the pane, but this is the test data that they're giving me. And here we're mimicking some sort of text application. In this case, the system thinks I'm Leslie. I'll take that information, so I'm going to confirm. And there's just one more step in here. I don't really need them to remember me. So not now. So once I went through this verification process, you'll notice that my system now realizes that I'm Leslie, and that indeed will become I actually issued the verifiable credential, and that information can be shared along with any other pertinent information. So if I quickly go to my health information profile, notice that I actually have several partitions, what I call partitions, which are really areas or logical grouping of your health information. Even though it's health information, not all data is the same. We have a partition for your vitals. Let's say you want to capture information from your wearables, your heart rate, your diabetes, glucose levels, so forth. Or another one where you can actually capture your doctor notes, manage your prescriptions, manage your insurance coverage and claims, and lastly, medical history questionnaire. And I want to highlight this. It's a little important. Well, it's very important because every time, all of us, when we go to the doctor, we get asked the same set of questions. Do you have history of cancer in your family, heart disease, diabetes, and so forth? So, of course, we fill these forms often, and when we go to another doctor for, I don't know, an X-ray or the dermatologist, whatever, they ask you the same question. So why not define it once in your decentralized web node, and then you just share it as many times, with a seamless touch of a button. So for this feature, we actually call it self-attestation, because this is data that us as users, as patients, as citizens, we provide, and there's really no hard validation of it. They just take our word for it. So, just simple example again, if I go to my health information section, this screen needs a little bit of love, but conceptually it's there. I want to share that I have family history of cancer or diabetes, whatever, and this is information that eventually will make it to an EHR, right? With again the click of a button. So I show identity verification, I show partitions, but ultimately these partitions, I envision them being actually dApps, where other developers create a nice application that allows the users to manage doctor notes or prescriptions, right? So the sky's the limit. The same thing can be said for dating apps or financial applications. But what I want these developers to do is just leverage the basic infrastructure of permissions, protocols, verifiable credentials. So that is my vision. As you can see, this still work in progress. And just before I finish this long, boring conversation, I just wanted to show you what the architecture looks like. And first of all, just at a high level, and then I can zoom in so you can see. The whole application consists of a web-based wallet. And in order for me to share information, I'm actually running a browser extension that also manages its own DWN. And as you saw in my demo, I went through the identity verification workflow using Plaid, but I plan to also bake Trinsic or other companies as well. And then, of course, I have my static app that is being rendered, but also I have the pass-through service that issues the verifiable credential. So that is it. I don't know if you guys want me to zoom in, but that's really it in a nutshell. So I
Wow,
think
I love it. Go ahead, Ace. I think you have a comment.
Yeah, that is amazing. I think I mean, the topic of the stream is why developers are building Web5, right? And when you look at these partitions that you've presented, when I first started hearing about Web5 myself, one of the angles that got me excited was, oh, this could make us as humans more of an API, because we already are, right? But every form we fill, we have to like type everything out, send this, fill these questionnaires over and over again. But as this technology continues to grow, we become closer to an API where we just respond with the payload and everything gets filled up, right? So you've worked with this entire architecture, building this, and I'm curious to know, following the question of the stream, like why are you building this with Web5, or if there's any additional benefit, opportunities, or just angles that makes this more functional or more applicable to the current or future scenarios. What does that look like, building with Web5?
yeah. Well, I heard from a industry leader that the technology is actually mature enough to really solve these types of problems where we empower the consumer. We break existing models of centralization where we have data aggregators, data brokers profiting from the data that we produce, right? So this type of technologies, personal data stores. I follow a lot the work done by Protocol Labs as well, where they have massive aggregation, what is decentralized, but massive storage for data and computing over data, right? So I agree with what you just said, Ace, is that in essence now we become, human APIs where we can choose to participate in certain workflows. For example, one that is screaming to be solved is the area of healthcare, where pharmaceuticals, doctors, researchers, they're always they always in need of information from patients, but we don't have the vehicles to actually consent and share that information, right? So I can totally see us, capturing our doctor notes, our prescriptions, our vitals, and let's say there's a medical research, medical trial that they need information from people who have a rare blood disease, for example, right? So in this case, we can actually make ourselves discoverable to these processes, and then, with our consent, actually share that information for a good cause. So I get all of that to say that, yeah, the technology is there. We just need to now start exploring these use cases. People like Amir and I and others that participate in hackathons just throw out tons of ideas and see what really has a good acceptance by the market. And yeah, I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have too many questions. I was just like, I like seeing it visually. It really makes a lot more sense to me because I remember like working through it a little bit with you in the hackathon, but I didn't really get to see like, oh, this is how you separated the partitions, and that's why you wanted like roles in place, I guess, for like the
Yeah,
section.
yeah.
I'm like, this is awesome.
And the reason I need access control is because the way I share data, if, for example, a partner site, this partner site knows nothing about my decentralized web node, knows nothing about Web5, and nor they should.
Yeah.
But the way I bridge the information sharing is through this browser extension. So that part is not working quite well. I was able to make them talk to each other. Now I really need to start extracting data using protocol context roles.
Gotcha. Actually, I do have a question on like, what are the parts of Web5 that you find, or like the parts of our API that you found enjoyable to work with? And then what are the parts that you're like, this is challenging and y'all need to improve this? We can take the heat.
Yeah, you know what? As I mentioned to you, I followed TBD really early, and I was following the implementation as well. At that point, the Web5 layer did not exist, and it was incredibly difficult to actually integrate a DWN just using the SDK without the Web5. So you guys did amazing by providing us an abstraction layer, which makes it so much simpler. So that's a good part. I think just a little bit of criticism. I try to implement again a wallet. In this case, notice I have different profiles, and each profile corresponds to a separate set of DWNs. I still have not gotten the code working correctly. It's not a criticism, it's just that there's so much complexity in enabling true proper wallet functionality. Again, the restoring of seed phrases, some people don't like it, some people do. I think overall the entire industry needs to figure out how we make private keys highly portable, so that all of this information that you see on this screen, I can go to my mobile device on a native app and restore exactly the same information. So as an industry, we need to solve what's the best and secure way of doing that. So what else? Just the wallet functionality, it's a bit difficult. I mean, I understand it's complex.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen how to actually manage and manage the rotation of the keys. So I'm looking forward to see how that ends up looking. Yeah.
That's awesome. This is great feedback. I'm sure Frank will love that feedback too, since he's working on like the agent stuff and maybe even him and them who are working on the wallet. I guess there was one person that's. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's also like ongoing conversation, because the wallet is, like you described, a very huge part of moving forward with this. So there's active conversation about rotating keys, if that's possible, if there's a different approach, and just getting past that point where people can start having portability across DIDs and profiles and stuff. So it's exciting to also see the feedback from the community too. Thank you.
Yeah. Some person in the community was saying share your link or your project, but I think you're not ready yet. I'm not sure, but that's what I remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my goals, and thank you for the opportunity to present, is I want to provide this tool for free to everybody. And of course, I have to incur into the hosting costs, right? Infrastructure for my services, which is fine. And that's when I'm actually working with a group of investors to absorb the price. But I really want this wallet to be available to everybody. So hopefully once I feel that I have enough functionality, I'll be more than happy to host it, share it, leverage TBD's voice to hopefully help me promote this. So I'll be more than happy. I certainly can give you my contact info and so we can stay connected.
Love it.
Awesome. I think we should see Amir's app now so that we can ask more questions together going forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amir, thank you.
Sorry, Amir. Yeah, feel free to switch the tab.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Okay, I was working on 2 projects, and I'm gonna start with DR node. It's called DR node, and here's a public URL you can see right now, drnode.info. The process is pretty easy. First of all, we need to create DID, then connect to a DWN, then you can shape your decentralized identity, your profile, and your local, let's say, decentralized storage on your browser. Then you will be able to share it with the universe, means with the community, with the other users in the world. So here is a simple connect. After connecting, you will see the dashboard page. Okay, the ID is created. Now it's time to see the options that DR node has. We have a few options. You can implement any data. You can create any data related to your healthy care, and you can share some of them or part of your data, personal data, with a doctor or your family doctor. So it's up to you to form your data and your local storage, then decide to share it with someone. So it's essential and it's very important to own your data. So you don't need to carry your data when you visit a doctor. So here you can create your information and share it. So here is a dashboard page. You can see we have 5 doctors. We issued 5 VC. Here is the count of lab tests, or how many records did you create for allergy section. Let me start with doctors. Here are the doctors. For example, they are Alex. I'm not actually DR, but as it is, they are Amir, Tenyun, and so on. As you can see, one of them has a delete button because I own this data record. I declared myself as a doctor. So if someone declare himself as a doctor, an organization in a country should issue a VC for that doctor to make sure it's real, because it's so important when you share your health care information with someone else. So, for example, I created an organization for issuing, VC for doctors, and here is a bit of information I got from Wikipedia. And each organization has DID too. If we want to work with Web5 for everyone, every organization, every user, kind of user, it's necessary to create a DID first. So after that, this organization will be able to issue VC for a doctor. Then we can see, for example, these doctors have VC, so we can trust. Here is the form for creating a new doctor. You can put your information as a doctor and submit for the organization to get your VC from that organization. Here is the important part. You can declare your information. For example, I have an allergy, for example, for food, and you can declare your allergy here. Actually, I have no clue about these fields. I got help from Google Bard AI. So here, for example, you have allergy for food. You can add more description about that allergy. So doctor will see and read your reaction for that allergy. As you can see, it's saved. For each part of this application, I declared a protocol. For example, I have a protocol for allergy, I have a protocol for doctor, I have a protocol for organizations. So I declared my allergy. Here you can see, let me see if it works. Yeah. Here are my allergy. I can delete, there's no edit because it doesn't have much more information. So you can delete your allergy record, then recorrect. So yeah, let's see the other parts I made for this application. And here is drugs. No need to declare. Sorry, let me refresh my page. Here is about drug part. You can declare what kind of drug are you using, drug name, drug class, no clue, dosage form, and so on. So you can declare your drugs, so you can share this information with doctors too. And as my friend mentioned, there are much more information related to healthcare, like lab tests, diet. Okay, do you want to hire a nurse or not? Some stuff like that. You can create all of them. Because of the time, I couldn't spend time to develop these parts. So for that reason, these are disabled. And the important part of this application is here is to issue a VC for a doctor. For example, in this application, we store allergy data, drug data, lab test, and so on. So, as well as personal information, which is important and it's basic for doctors. So, for example, I'm gonna share my allergy data with the doctor. Okay, each doctor has a DID, so you can select the doctor, and then you can determine a expiration date. Then you can issue the VC for that, doctor. So if they are Alex, log into his panel, or let's say dashboard, to DR Note, he can see the all patients that issued a VC for him. For example, here is the VC from this DID, or here is another allergy data from another patient. I suppose that's all. Sorry,
I,
was
I have a question. So, can the patient see when a doctor issue? I mean, not a doctor, an organization issues them a VC. Like, because I was imagining, or what I thought was like the hospital or organizations, like, yeah, this is a real doctor. They're not like pretending to be a doctor. So, are patients able to see that like this is like a for real doctor? Or did I miss that part?
yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I hadn't much more information about the process,
Oh, you're breaking up. Oh no. Okay.
how
Let's see.
this
Amir, do
Can
you
you hear
want
us,
to
Amir?
turn off
industry,
your camera and then see if that makes the.
works.
Oh
Yeah, I
no.
think the network just went AY.
Yeah. Oh no. Amir, we can't
So,
hear you. I'll
yeah,
text you.
I assume this section is for hospitals, or how about now?
Yeah, we can hear you a
Yeah,
little
we can
bit.
hear you now.
Breaking up. So I was like, maybe turn off your camera because maybe that's like messing with the bandwidth.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
there we
Sorry, my connection is
go.
poor.
I know you're in like Turkey right now, so like I understand. All good.
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Okay, what was your question? Sorry. Yeah, here is a section for creating issue or VC for doctors, so people can make sure, for example, Dr. Alex is a real doctor or not.
Sounds good.
Thank you. And I just seen a message from Moises about like how you both already connected and he was thinking like it would be cool if you like run your application on top of his platform. I'm actually curious too, from both of you even. Is like a lot of people, well, I think I have a idea or theory why, but I'm curious because I see a lot of like health apps. Like that's the first thing people think about when they're making a Web5 application. So I'm curious from your perspective, Amir, and then Moises on like why go for the health app first?
Okay, first of all, we're talking about decentralized applications. Okay, the first thing in this industry which is matter is your information. We should respect the privacy. We should own our data. So uh, uh, we cannot trust to centralized application or servers. Here with Web5, we can own our own data. Our main information about our healthcare information about our family, and so on. So I decided to develop this because it's extremely important for people, because they wanna take care of their information. So it's the first, idea I got to develop for Web5 hackathon.
Gotcha. What about you, Moises? Oh, you're muted. Oop.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we
Yeah,
can.
we
Okay,
can.
perfect. Yeah. So, as I mentioned earlier, I came from the healthcare world. Lumedic was one of them, and we attempted professionally to solve problems of insurance integration, hospital billing integrations with blockchain and decentralized technologies. It does not work well because let's face it, the status quo it's perfect for insurance companies where their model is the more roadblocks they place, the less money they spend in patient care, and therefore their profits are higher, right? So you have to be able to select appropriately what the business use case is to use these types of technologies. Now, the biggest push for consumer facing health apps are regulations, ironically, right? Uh, for example, the Health and Human Services and a federal agency, they have a what's called the 21st Century Cures Act, which actually forces insurance companies and medical providers to share that information with the patient at a moment's notice. So this technology, of personal data stores, decentralized web nodes, are ripe for this type of use cases. And as Amir's amazing apps showed, we're empowering the patient, the consumer, to actually gain more control of their data. But again, one of the biggest pushes really are regulations and nothing else. That's what's going to force the current business models to start evolving.
I thank you for that perspective. Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to ask a very similar question to Rizel's, off of the foundation where a lot of people are, in fact, building, rightfully so, anyways, health applications because of the need to, be able to move around with their own health data. But I also just very curious about your perspective, both of you, when it comes to interoperability between these multiple applications and sharing this data. I mean, that is one of the reasons why Web5 exists, to be able to do this. But
Mhm.
also, like, as people that are building this and also like looking forward to, expanding and collaborating and exporting data and sharing stuff. What is your current perspective on the possibilities for collaboration, like you mentioned with Amir, or interoperability between apps that don't even know each other, but they want to work with the same data? Like, what is that looking like from your perspective right now?
Amir, you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I have some experience with that as well. I played a lot. Well, not played. I worked with the classic Hyperledger Indy and the classic DCOM protocols. And although they are open specifications, they promote interoperability. The existing markets, the status quo does not even care about that, right? So what we as industry, as self-sovereign identity practitioners, we got to do is basically provide them with tools that create very low friction. Uh, so in my example, as I mentioned, I cannot expect a doctor's office or a bank or anybody to suddenly start adopting this technology, right? So what I have to do is cater it to them. One specification or one interoperable tool could be said about Object ID Connect, right? Where banks and EHRs and all of them, they all not integrate systems with OIDC. So why not now us provide that bridge to bring our decentralized web apps via OIDC or maybe JSON web tokens, and these types of technologies that are already existing in the marketplace. So let's just leverage them and just reduce the friction rather than expecting the status quo to adopt our technologies, why don't we morph our technologies to blend nicely with the status quo?
That is awesome. I think one angle, as you mentioned, would be the JWTs. Those come in very handy, already, very supported by verifiable credentials, and you can already use that to export data. But I've never thought about it in terms of fine we are building on this platform. It also makes sense to make it easy to not only get data to platform to organizations or companies that are yet to adopt this, but continue to maintain their interoperability till eventually that adoption rises. So that was a very amazing insight. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
Do you have any
And
additions, Amir?
yeah, and I do want to say, Amir, sorry we didn't get a chance to show your next project. We're just like the time is going. So maybe we can like drop your projects again in the Discord and in other places. But I'm like, oh my god, we have like 12 minutes left. But I thought the
No
first
problem. Okay, cool, no problem. But according to my experience, uh, I suppose it's our responsibility, to make the process easy for everyone. One of the problem I got in Web3 space, it was so hard to invite people to this industry, new era, you know. So it's our responsibility to create a few, dApps to show the functionality, the features of Web5, what can be do, how they can own your data. We should show this functionality in action. So it has potential to grow, and we can invite people. We can increase the community member by creating so many dApps, Web5 dApps. So it's really awesome. It's pretty easy to learn. You need just create a DID, connect to a web node, decentralized, and share your data. That's all.
Perfect. That makes a lot of
Great.
sense. Thank you.
yeah,
Over to you, Rizal. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
it's okay. I keep talking over you. My bad. My other question, I guess it's kind of related to what you all just answered. It's just like, what like predictions do y'all have for the future of like Web5 and data sovereignty and ID tech, or not, and maybe or. And the reason I ask this is because like the CEO of Trinsic, he posted a blog post on like the predictions he has for 2024. Now I think
Yeah.
a lot of
Right.
them they were interesting. I thought they were like, I was like, maybe not. I wasn't sure if I agree that it's gonna happen in 2024, maybe someday. So I'm curious from y'all's perspective, any predictions for the future of like what you're hoping to see?
Yeah, I can start. I mentioned earlier one of the biggest drivers of adoption, ironically again, are regulations. And a perfect example, if you look in Europe, in the European community, they have that project, the EIDAS, which is electronic identification and verification, right? So in the SSI space, the Open Wallet Foundation, they're actually trying to meet the requirements, which is again promotion and mass adoption of those technologies. So again, I can see the same thing happening in the United States, where through maybe the California Consumer Protection Act, how they can actually force the Metas, the Googles of the world, to respond to a better stewardship of people's data, right? So if those regulations become stringent and they push more those big players, maybe they can start looking at our space and say, maybe we should adopt that type of technology, which is totally compliant with all of these kinds of regulations. Yeah.
Love that. What about you, Amir?
Well, I suppose we're gonna see more stuff about AI, decentralized
Mhm.
applications, and how these technologies will work with together. for the next few years, I would like to see something you can transfer your information, your brain,
Ah,
to secure storage, like your personal, you know, DWN.
wow.
Then you will be able to to implement it inside a machine, inside a robot, let's say,
Ooh,
so you can be alive forever.
So you can live forever. That is a
that
bold
sounds
one.
like
Yeah.
a movie. I'm scared of
So
that. I just don't want nothing to happen to my brain.
no, I will just find if you answer to my question, the question who created us. Just for that reason,
Right.
Cool.
Astonishing. That
Yeah.
is quite the prediction. Maybe not this year, but that is quite the prediction.
I love it.
So they can issue for family. They can have a copy of our information. Cool.
I agree.
Yeah, you're a futurist for real.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this is a good time for us to switch into. I mean, wait, just want to make sure, Ace, are you
No,
okay?
I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I think it's a good time for us to switch into some of the like more fun questions, not really related to tech or Web5. So,
Okay.
first question is, what's y'all's favorite food?
Oh my, that's a hard question. I love every type of food. I love, of course, Mexican food, Spanish food. I love, well, Iranian, Persian food is delicious. Oh, Turkish food. Oh, don't talk to me about food. It's time for lunch.
I'm dying over here.
That was cool.
What about you, Amir? I know you already told me ahead of time. It's controversial. That's all right. Oh, you froze. Oh
Oh
no.
no,
I can. Am I allowed to say
Oh, I
what you were gonna?
created another answer.
Oh, okay. When you come
Actually,
back, but
yeah, I
Amir's.
love pizza
pizza.
actually. A
Oh, damn.
classic Italian. Yeah, I love pizza.
Good,
A
good.
classic Italian pizza
Me
beside
too.
coffee.
Me too. Yes.
Pizza.
Sounds good.
I love pizza too. My bad about the the breaking up.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, if you could have a superpower, whatever
Mm.
superpower ever, what would it be?
Again, related to food, eat and not get fat.
That's actually smart.
Yeah, that's my superpower.
Oh my goodness. You like food a lot.
I
That's
do.
good.
I get it. Food's good. What
Oh
about
my
you, Amir? What superpower will you want?
I would like to have traveling in time,
Oh,
telepathy.
Ooh, time traveler. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the future, huh?
Yeah, I can see a good thing.
If
I
you,
think.
if you could time travel, what would be the first thing you do?
Ooh.
Um, I just want to see the future.
I
Oh,
see.
wow.
I have no
Makes sense.
business with the past. It was good, great.
It's true.
you are a
Fascinating.
futurist. You're gonna go into what they got our brains to be stored in.
I know in DWNs. My goodness.
Yeah.
Touche.
Okay.
Touche.
Last question is, what's your favorite Beyonce song?
Oh, Lord.
If you don't have one, use another. But oh wait, Moises, you sound like you got one. Go ahead.
No, actually, this is the. In 1 week, two people already have asked me that. So, which tells me I have to start listening to Beyonce. Yeah. I don't know their names, but I like the moves. I like the.
Okay, you like the dances. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get you. Yeah. What about you, Amir?
What was the question about dancing?
No, what's your favorite Beyonce song? If you have one. Moises said he needs to start listening to Beyonce.
I listen just light music, any music, bring me more, focus.
Hmm.
So I can focus on my job, writing code. Like, I will like this group, ERA group, you know, yeah, especially Amino, Amino track. I would like to listen
Wow.
every day. And also some frequencies like 741 frequency and 999 frequency, some stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never heard of those, but that's basically like your music that helps you focus while you code. I get that
Yeah,
because some music is
yeah.
distracting. Okay. In addition to advocating for Web5, I need to advocate for people to listen to Beyonce.
I see.
Good
Point
job,
taken.
Risa.
Right. Oh, this was a
But yeah,
really great stream. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ace.
no, I was just transitioning with you.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say this was a really great stream. It was really funny and enjoyable and good to see what y'all are building. So thank you so much for bringing your knowledge and your great personalities. And also thank you to the people who tuned in and watched or people that are watching this afterwards. I do want to remind people next week we got a good stream coming through with Trinsic. Trinsic is like a cool company in the space that's doing a lot of identity verification. So definitely tune in at 12 p.m. ET or 9 a.m. PT. Go ahead, Ace. What closing remarks you got?
Or 6 p.m. CET.
That's true. This represent for your time zone.
Exactly. So yeah, as usual, thank you so much, Moises and Amir, for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Learned a
Thank
lot.
you.
Great conversation, very insightful.
I
Also
got
nice to
you.
see your project. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new features that are coming. Shout out to everyone that joined us on Discord, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. See you guys next week.
Thank you so much.
Great.